Hi everyone, in this video I wanted to show you one of the experiments that we are doing here in the office at SARI. This experiment started in December. So what happened in December is that Javier and we were traveling because of the business reasons. We were teaching a course on extra reports and the course happens to be in Barcelona. So we were both outside of our home countries. So in the meantime, um, while I was not teaching and Javier was teaching, then I used that time to produce like this prototype because we have this idea on how to produce reports using AI. So this is the first prototype and is the one that is everything is hard coded, it's like kind of dirty. I just wrote it really fast just to prove the concept. So the idea is to generate a lot of DTOs that can be serialized to JSON that contains information about the structure of the report. This can be done in many ways. We have also another prototype in the office where this happened using XML, but in this case, it was the first version, and I think it's the winning version. So in here, you will see a form and the report, everything is hard-coded. There is no UI, so there was no stuff. I create this prototype in my Mac, and it was a console app. And then I use a virtual machine to put a form and so on. So it's super messy. And this is the original prototype. I will show it running, and then I will show the SAF version. So this is the response from the AI of the request or the request to create a report. So as you can see, here is the like all the calculated fields with their expression and so on and so forth, the columns and the field names that are going to be used, and so on. So all the information is here, and let's see if this one is correct. Okay, and this is the report that was actually generated. So this was generated using Cloud AI from Anthropics, which seems to be better at programming or writing code definitions. So this one, if we show the preview, it works fine. Everything is calculated and the prompt is really small. Actually, to show you the prompt is, I have the solution explorer here, so I think it's this one. So this is the prompt to generate that report. So it's like really, really small. And it kind of runs really easy. I will run it again. I want to show you something. This is extra reports. It's not SAF. So I've been porting this prototype to SAF. Like, it's, I've been doing it for 2 days. Like I spent like 10 hours yesterday cleaning up a little bit and doing a lot of stuff. So in here, what I want you to notice is that in the data source, the calculated fields are created and their find expressions are actually valid. And this was created with Cloud AI from Anthropics. So let me close this. And now let's go to the SAF side. I have created this prototype in SAF, and this one is actually really huge because I will use it for more than one demonstration. So first, let me move this to here. So in here, you have the AI tools, which are the report generator and all the DTOs that represents the report. These are the same as the other prototype. Then we have some examples of reports on how do they look like. This one, for example, that was generated by Cloud. And with the prompt that we used to generate that, as you can see, it's the same prompt. And what was returned by Cloud, actually. So this is the response from the AI. I should rename it to response instead of request. Okay, so also um, there are like a few prompts. So this is the system prompt for the report generator. Um, this include like, okay, you are like a expert on data analysis on business and blah blah blah, and you can create reports based on a schema. So you can see this, the repo will be public, and I will post the link in the description of the video. So the main difference here is that I'm using GPT-4 instead of Cloud AI. So it is a huge difference in the output. For example, see this prompt, the system prompt, I have to include the functions. If you don't aggregate information about the functions, for example, how to do aggregation, summaries, like counting or things like that, GPT-4 start to make a huge hallucination. I don't have to include this in cloud, so the prompt is way smaller. So that's one of the things that are like changes from the original prototype to this prototype. And the second is that I had to create the infrastructure to pass the schema, especially an ORM schema like XPO or so on. I mean, I don't use Entity Framework so much, but you can apply the same code actually to Entity Framework. So here is the ORM. I put it in a single file because sometimes I need to fix it with AI, so it's better if it's a single file. Each of these classes and properties contains a description attribute where I put a description of what is that property for, because I generate the schema in the end, and I pass that to the AI. I pass the schema, example of the reports that I generated before, and the system prompt and the current prompt. So this is a little bit how it looks right now. And I'm super excited about this prototype. I mean, I just need to do some little tuning, but I think that maybe next week it will be ready to show. I think this will be the topic of the next SAF community stand up. Um, Here I just need to fix a little thing that I'm a little bit rusty on SAF reporting. So there are things that I know that I didn't uh, create the correct code, so I need to fix that. So let me show you how it looks working. Okay, so here I have the business object, which are the data that we want to show: countries, customers, invoice details, invoice headers, like a lot of them actually, products, and products category. This is like the business data, let's say like that. And beside that, I created this business schema object that generates the object the schema based on the ORM. And I will delete this so you can see how it works. So generate schema. So this is the all the classes. So it's good if you actually do the decoration. So the AI understand what are the relationship between objects and what is each property for. So here, okay, we have the schema. Now the AI report generator contains the system prompt, the one that I showed you before, an example of the schema. This is like something generated by .NET 9. In .NET 9, you can generate the schema out of a JSON. If you have a JSON data, you can extract the schema, and it's really useful, especially for the AI interaction. And the same for the DTOs that I used to create the object. I extract the schema and I put it in the prompt. This was, again, I cannot repeat this. So I mean, emphasize on this so much that it will depend on the model, because cloud AI doesn't need all this extra information. And then in the end, I have to put the information about the functions, because if I don't put it, it generates invalid aggregation expressions. And also, here is one example of a report, the one that I generate with cloud. This is how the generated JSON looks like. This was the prompt, and this was actually the image. That you can pass images in Microsoft AI extension. That's a cool thing. So let's go and let me show you the report area. Here is nothing. So let's go to the report AI and let's create one. So in here, I'm going to pass this prompt. Actually, I think I'm going to pass the one from cloud because it contains a little bit more details. So this is here. Let's try to do this one because it includes some restriction like don't use link, only use uh, things from this class and so on. So let's copy this and let's make a new report. So here I will put the prompt, I will save, and then I click generate report and it will show me the definition, what it generates on JSON. It will pick a report title and a report data source. So let's generate this. And it takes some time. So here in the log, I put how many tokens I'm using. And since the system prompt is really big, and I needed to include the information about the functions, like how you do the summary account and so on, it ended up using a lot of tokens, so 15,000 tokens, input tokens. And this is what was generated. And based on this, I used that runtime report generator to generate the report, actually. So let's see how valid it is. As I showed you before, the one generated with cloud is valid like in the first run. So here we have the report. And let's cross the fingers. I kind of work. The summary got them wrong, see? But the layout was generated correctly. So I think that the problem is that the calculated fields are different in XAF reports, apparently, than extra reports. It's supposed to be the same, but here I don't know why I don't see them on the data source. And if I run the other one, let's run it here. This will be my last coding of today. It's Valentine's Day today, so it's like I need to finish my day really early. So as you can see here in the object data source, the calculated fields are actually here, but not in the ones from XAF. So I need to double check that. Maybe I did an error there. Basically, this is a collection data source, and the other one is an object data source. So I guess that's kind of the problem. That's why if I do add calculated fields, I see the fields here, but I don't see them at the data source level. So I think I made a mistake there. Because here are the calculations, and they seem to be right. At least when I put the documentation from Developer Express. So let's see if this expression is valid. Yeah, and it's complex, but it seems to be valid. So I just need to fix some small details there. So I just wanted to share this with you because, well, any input will be welcome. I mean, this is just a prototype, and I think that XAF provides the perfect infrastructure to generate flows using AI, like create a report, create an analysis, create a KPI, a state machine, and so on, because it's like a well-known scenario. So I will share this repo, and all the experiments about data analysis will be there, actually. So you will see like an ugly commit, the first one. And let me know if you find it interesting. See you on the next video.